why have a lot of us had transformations in our lives is because there was probably a moment in your life you're like, I have no choice. Right?
Multiple. It's so real to both of us that we're like, oh no, that could happen again. If my pipeline is not always getting full somehow, I'm anxious. And I don't think that's a bad thing.
If you use fear, it can propel you forward. That's what I choose to do. I go, I have no choice. I will continue to build momentum, because the worst thing when you've lost it all is you've lost it all and you have no momentum on top of that. Full circle, you're running masterminds and getting people out of their mindset chains and all of that kind of stuff, which is freaking so cool.
I know that's why I'm here,
Of
is
course.
because I like really experienced the prison that we can create for ourselves. And it feels so real, feels very real when you're in it. And then all of a sudden you do get around expanders like yourself and it just blows the roof off. It's like you make it so possible for people. That's why I'm so excited about your tour and what you're about to do. Because that's going to be what happens over and over, is because in your body, it's so real. And to you, it's so simple because you've done it so many times. And to everybody listening, like, it doesn't take some massive like college, or, you know, sometimes it doesn't even take like a year or a month. Sometimes it can be as little as being in your energy. I think of that even with Gary Vee. Sometimes I listen to one Gary Vee podcast and I'm like, I'm going to fucking do everything. Like, I'm just like blows the lid off. And so I'm excited for you that you are taking that 120 days to just go impact in person.
I've done weird things like that before. And I just know that, like, and I have a good buddy of mine that has a rule in his life. He has 10 kids, married at age 20. His wife and him, she was 18. They had to move their wedding date back. They realized that she wasn't going to be 18 on the wedding date. They're like, oh shit, we should move the wedding back so you're 18.
Probably.
Like, just a dedicated family guy. But his number one thing I took from him is, he says, I move every 3 years to reinvent myself. And as long as I've known him for 15 years, he's done it. He goes, all right, all 10 kids and me and the wife, we're moving to a completely different state, to a place we don't know anybody. We go, like, they're in Nashville or Knoxville, Tennessee now. They just bought a 40-acre farm, and they'll be there for 3 years. And then they'll go, all right, everything we built, we're going somewhere else. And they go build something else somewhere else. But they're building relationships. They're getting out of their comfort zone. They're getting out. And so he says, my job is to make my children's comfort zone feel like their comfort zone should be discomfort, if that makes sense.
Totally.
Yep.
Because so many people are watching this right now that, well, I want to do this, but like, I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid of that. I don't want to disrupt the status quo. Guys, there's somebody watching this podcast right now that needs to leave their spouse. There's somebody here that needs to leave their boyfriend or their girlfriend. There's somebody here that needs to abandon some of your friends and go find new friends. There's somebody here that needs to invest in themselves, get into a mastermind. How do people get to your mastermind, by the way?
chrisharder.me/mastermind.
Okay, cool. So there's somebody here that needs to get around, expanders, like what Lori said, and you're going to have a hard time with that because your amygdala, look up the amygdala. Holy crap. It's like the greatest thing. If you understand, this stupid little almond shaped part of your brain is controlling every activity you do, and the fear that you have on a daily basis. It's all controlled by your amygdala. It wants to keep you comfortable, and it wants to save you from exerting energy. There's somebody watching and they're like, well, that sounds like work. Yeah. So does living a shitty life. You know, it sounds like a lot of work to me. I don't want to have anything to do with that.
I want to point out, you're not saying this from theory. You're not preaching from a pedestal. You've gone as far as you left your first wife because she didn't support the dreams of entrepreneurship. Would you unpack that for us?
Yeah. Mormon guy, didn't have sex until I was married. That's a big deal for a dude. I just want to point that out to you guys.
That's a big sacrifice.
Talk about it.
I did not. It's like, I felt like I'd make out with a girl in high school and I thought I was going to go to the devil was going to pull me straight. And
she got
I
interviewed by a
understand.
panel about it.
I understand.
Right.
Yes.
So that's where I came from. So I get married in the Mormon temple, marry a good Mormon girl. What are we known for? We get married early. We have kids fast, right? I come from a family of 12 kids. And you get married early and have kids early. So I love being a Mormon. I still am a Mormon. So I just think a lot of Mormons suck. So, and so does like the culture around a lot of religion because it gets everybody really stuck. But I figured out how to be Mormon without being in the crap. So we get married. We're together for 4 years. And then I say I want to have kids. And she's like, well, maybe next year. This turns into a thing. And then Long story short, we go to a therapist. Therapist goes, she loves you, but she truly doesn't ever want to have kids. I'm like, okay, what else do I not know about you?
Yeah.
And then she tells me, I don't want you to be an entrepreneur.
Wow.
And I'm like, why? She's like, because I just never know when we're going to have money. I'm like, we've always had money. What are you talking about? Yeah, but what if one day we don't have money? And this became a thing. So I quit my business and I went and applied for a job at GoDaddy.
You were making decent money at the business, right?
Like $300-400 take home.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's great.
I was 24.
That's huge for that age.
Yeah. This is 20 years ago. So like, that's like,
that's
like baller.
Yeah, that is balling out.
I was balling out of control.
Yeah.
I had 2 cars, dude. Like,
Holy shit. Yeah.
So I think hard workers don't have a problem making money. I've never had a problem making money. I've always figured out like you apply yourself, you're going to make money. Especially in today's day and age, like there's just so few people that actually want to work. But anyway, so I go through the 2-week orientation at GoDaddy right down here in Tempe. And I went to GoDaddy because I had a friend that was in their executive account. So it was making like $500,000. I go, okay, well, that sounds like a job I don't need a college degree for. And like, I could talk to really cool companies and I could maybe learn how to do things myself. And, you know, this would be before Bob Parsons sold the company. And so I go there, 2-week orientation. And then they walk me to my desk on day 1 and I look down at the cubicle. And it might as well have been the depths of hell. Like I look at this desk and I said, I'm not sitting down there. Nope, this is not happening. You could see the chair, the little office chair had been used by 50 people before me, a revolving door of salespeople that are just going through all the farts that have been on the chair, like all the bullshit
I know that
had
chair
like
well.
been in this cubicle. And I was like, no. So I walked out of GoDaddy. On day 1 of my job, I call my ex-wife now. And I said, if this is the person you want me to be, you married the wrong person.
Can't be fart chair Pace.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm not sitting on fart chairs. So, and a lot of other things too. I'm not going to be told what to do. I was either, I don't know if I was born.
You're unemployable.
I'm unemployable.
A lot of us are unemployable.
You guys are unemployable.
Yep.
So I made a decision and I ripped off the Band-Aid, got divorced, and then met my wife a year later, which is awesome.
Amazing.
And I met a woman, for you men out there, when you guys are still dating, find a freaking woman who is married to an entrepreneur. She will understand the lifestyle and it's normal for her. Like my daughters, we do not say the word job in our house.
Wow.
I do not want my daughters even knowing what a job is. I do not want my daughters marrying a guy that has a job. I want my daughters marrying a guy who creates jobs. And so we talk about, what does dad do for a living? Dad creates jobs.
So cool.
So when they grow up, my daughters are like, I'm marrying a dude that creates things. Now it doesn't have to be jobs, but I want to marry a guy that creates things and makes value, provides value to the marketplace rather than being told what to do every single day. So, and ironically, here we are on Labor Day. Yeah. The day that is like a day off, and
working.
We got badasses right here working.
You really
Elton John
are.
with us in the studio, and here we are working.
Brianne and Danny, yes.
Yeah, you guys are in the same mindset as I am. So I am allergic to it. I don't want to be around people. Here's the problem. I'm like, I absorb everybody's energy. I'm an empath. And if your energy is negative, I find myself being a dick 4 minutes later. I'm like, what happened? Because I am not myself. I know myself. I am nothing but a sponge. I will sponge my environment. I will sponge thoughts from other people. And sadly, that is just the way, maybe that's just me, but I feel like that's every human being as well.
You brought up your kids, and they're being raised watching you be wildly successful. If they couldn't inherit any of your business, and if they couldn't inherit any of your money, what is one belief system that you would want them to inherit from you?
Okay, notice where there's a missing piece of value in the environment you're in and provide that value. So for example, my son Asher, he at age 15, I pushed entrepreneurship on him, and I don't know if he's not ready for it or if it's just not him. But I pushed it on him. He bought 3 rental properties. Guess what? He's the only friend of his that doesn't have to work a job. He gets $1,800 comes in every single month from his rentals, and he's never had to work, which is awesome. I gave that to him. So at age 16, I told him, you're not going to have a job like your friends, but you need to do something. I'm going to tell you, you need to go become a pilot, because I think that's a skill that would give you confidence. It would feel great. It's going to be so uncomfortable learning about, the tachometer and the this and the barometer, blah, 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 all the things. When you find something that's cooler than that, I will let you replace being a pilot. But as of right now, you need to stay as being a pilot. Cool. He goes and gets his license. He's in love with it. He then is like, well, what do I do now? I go, keep growing, go get new certifications, but I now want you to go get a job at a mechanic, a pilot, like an airplane mechanic.
Sure.
So the thing that he's learned a long time, his boss calls me up. He goes, I don't know what is up with your kid. I was like, oh shit, what did he do? He's a good kid. I go, oh, what's going on? He goes, he's the only guy that does not sit down. He notices things in the shop that need to be done that my crew have been here 15 years, have not thought to do. He reorganized these things. He came over here and cleaned this. He noticed the bathroom was dirty. He cleaned the bathroom. It's not even on his job list. I go, because I taught my kids that if they need a job list, they should be shot in the leg. And so my son is practicing exactly what that thought is, which is, what is the market missing? What is the value you can bring to the market? And just bring it. Don't ask for permission. And so I was with him this morning. I go, how's the job? And he goes, I think I could own one of these companies one day, because he's paying attention to what's missing, who isn't doing their job. Where can I provide value to that person? And also, don't be a brown nose. Like, go to the guys that are falling behind on their job and go, hey, I want to learn how to do what you're doing. Can I help with your role after hours? And so he's become friends with all the other mechanics as well simultaneously. So just, politicking and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I love that. I feel like, that's what my dad did for me, truly. And every job I had, it was like, I did the craziest things. Like, I would move everything in the back room and scrub the floors, and they'd be like, what are you doing? I'm like, it was dirty.
Yes.
It was and it has paid off so much. I can't even tell you, because I have gone from job to job, didn't graduate, didn't get a high school diploma. How am I where I'm at? It's truly because I was the most valuable person at every single job.
Yeah, and I didn't wait. You, is education really that important? Like formal education, right? I think being around the right people, right environments, your dad obviously being a mentor of yours, and then applying yourself and actually just doing the thing and noticing stuff that other people don't. Like, you're in the 0.00001 percentile of people on the planet. Like, it's impossible for you not to be successful.
He was, looking back, it's all the things that I really resented him for, though. I'm sure your kids have moments of resenting you, which is great, because you're forcing them to do things they wouldn't naturally do. And I'm so grateful for all of the the hard work and all of those moments. How are you, outside of obviously helping your kids, create these experiences for themselves? You have a great life, and your kids probably have a really great life. How do you recreate challenges for them?
Struggle.
I haven't quite figured that out. Because here's the thing is, you get to a point where you have money, probably 15 years ago, you get to a point where you have enough money that you're like, okay, we fly first class and we drive the cars we want to drive. We do the things, and we're not eating McDonald's. Like, my dad ate McDonald's every meal for us because it was affordable for 15 kids, right? We're like, well, mom and dad want to have Nobu, so I guess you kids are also having Nobu. So I haven't quite figured that out yet. One thing I just know that my kids go with me to our events. My kids meet all the other kids. Asher, for example, this is interesting. So Asher had experiences that he's 17 now. He had experiences in my real estate industry or business that I think the girls will never have. I used to go on a lot of appointments, right? Like, people would be in foreclosure, and I'd go to their house and I'd sit in their living room, and they stopped paying their power bill months ago. And so it's 140 freaking degrees in their house, no fan, no nothing. Asher, I remember when he was 8 years old, he would go on appointments with me 2-3 times a week. And I would ask him, why did we not buy that house? Well, I think that lady's in denial. I think this is happening. He just got to a point where he'd been in enough appointments that he saw what the opposite side of, wealth looked like. So for my daughters, one thing that we do is we do this really fun thing where we go save 100 families in, I'll make it simple for people, Pakistan. We go to Pakistan. Do you guys know how many people are in slavery right now?
No.
Oh my gosh. This is the weirdest thing. If you ever get a chance to look this up, 23 million people are currently in slavery right now.
What?
At brick kilns across the globe.
What?
Okay, so what happens is these people that are in just third world countries, 23 million people are in actual slavery. And they're in slavery over a $500 bill that their grandfather incurred like 40 years ago. And what they do is they work for about $1 a day making bricks for a brick kiln. The brick kiln is also simultaneously banks in these cities all over the world. Yeah. And so what happens is you go to the brick kiln and you go, you're the richest thing in town. I need a $500 thing paid for. My daughter needed a such and such surgery and I have no money for it. No problem. Just work at the brick kiln. You have to make 1,500 bricks a day and I'll give you $2. $1 goes towards the materials. $1 goes towards your debt. Well, the problem is now they don't have money to survive. So they just take that dollar to survive on, right? So we go there and we'll take our family and we'll go free 100 families. We'll pay off their $500 debt, build them a $3,500 house, and then give them like a $1,500 like tool setup that they can go do and build their own business. And they go from making $2 a day to $7 a day. And my kids watch this in person and they are so much more thankful. They see the other side. And then of course we're at homeless shelters and stuff like that. I don't know that I want to take my kids through what my parents made us go through, like mowing the lawn and doing all the things. Like it worked for you and me. I don't know. I got to read.
But there could be a different way.
If you find a suggestion, please text me.
We do know a lot of kids who were raised very much like your kids are being raised, and they are incredible humans. Like I think there's multiple
conversations are being had.
There's multiple paths. You know, there's multiple paths.
I think one thing about parents, like when we were all growing up, I don't think they were as equipped as we all are today to like educate and have these conversations like what you're saying, Chris, is like, I can have that conversation. Like my dad never talked to me about money. Yeah. My mom never talked to me about money. It was taboo. Yeah. And my parents are still to this day watching their thermometer or their thermostat. Like, who turned the air conditioning down to 79
Why is it always
degrees?
The thermostat?
We had this conversation
it's like a sin in the house.
I'm like, I will give you $100. So every time I come over here, I can turn the AC down to 76 degrees. Like, what the freak?
Oh my God. It's water in our house too. In my parents' house too. I'm like,
leave the shower on.
Oh my God.
I want to shift gears for a minute. We've established that you're an absolute legend as a person, right?
Oh, thank you.
But people need to know, as a business individual, you're an absolute legend as well. And I know you're known for creative financing and finding properties with zero down. But if I came to you and I said, hey, Pace, I've got an extra $100,000 or $200,000 and I really want to get into this, does that accelerate it? Where would you tell me to put that money? Or is it really go acquire these things zero down?
Okay, so if you had $100,000 or $200,000 and you have zero experience, you don't know how to find the deal, manage the deal, you don't know how to exit the deal, meaning like, we bought an RV park a couple months ago that we are renovating, cleaning it up, putting a cell tower there. We're adding value. In 2 years, I'll sell it for double. If you don't know how to do all of those things, putting $100,000 or $200,000 into real estate, the number one way I would do that is find an operator that you admire. Okay, so for me, that would be like Ken McElroy. I freaking love Ken McElroy. He's here in the Valley. He also manages all of Robert Kiyosaki's assets. Like he's the guy that made Robert Kiyosaki actually credible. Robert Kiyosaki's a little bit of a lunatic. Shout out, Robert. I love you, but you are a lunatic. The guy who made him not such a crazy lunatic is Ken McElroy. Yeah. So I would find an operator like that that's buying and building big multifamily deals and go, I want to just invest with you. Typically, your investment's going to give you somewhere around a 20% return, somewhere in that realm. But you're going to get educated on what that operator is doing. So now, not only do I get the 20% return, but I get to get educated on that asset type, and I get to ask questions and be part of their circumference. And then I can maybe one day be an operator on my own. Yes, being the operator, you make all the money. So, like for example, here's the difference. I have a loan. I have a business, so we do like business loans. And my average loan will give me a 40% return in like 8 months. Okay. So I have a $500,000 loan.
Is this like factoring or?
Yeah, it's factoring. Yeah. That's a great way of saying it. Yeah. But we do some factoring, some other things as well. So a lot of bridge financing. So somebody goes, I'm buying a business and I need $500,000. The business is already cash flowing and it's good, but my lender won't be able to close for 8 months. Perfect. I'll bridge that gap. Right. So I'll do a lot of bridge financing as well. I'll finance that purchase tomorrow, $550,000. And in 8 months, I'll get a return of my $550,000 plus I'll make like $280,000 on that loan. Well, where did I get that money from? Somebody who said, Pace, I have money I want to invest, but I don't know what to do with it. They give me their money. I give them a 10% return and I go make 40, 50, 60% with their money. So operators make the majority of the money. So find an operator that you like and is willing to teach you what they're doing. Give them a couple $100,000. If you gave somebody a couple $100,000, they're going to be so excited. They'll take you to dinner. Okay. So I would find an operator you really like and just give it to them. We make way more money than the stock market.
Yep.
A lot of times we make more money than Bitcoin. Like a multifamily investment's not going to make you as much as Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's been going like 30% year over year. But like business lending, we're making 50, 60% year over year. So go find people that are doing what I'm doing, invest your money with them. If you don't want to learn how to do what I do, which is not easy. What I do is not easy. It requires skills to get in people's living rooms. It requires negotiations. It requires follow-up, consistency, which is the number one human like problem, consistency. But I love that question. A lot of people ask me, I have $100,000. What should I do with it? And I go, burn it. Learn how to buy real estate with no money. Give it to your mom. I don't care what you do with $100,000. Don't use your own money. But to answer your question specifically, give it to somebody you trust that will teach you how to be an operator.
That's a great answer.
How has your investment shifted, especially with AI? Like, what are you not investing in anymore? What are you going for right now? Like, what are you like?
Question.
This is what I see.
Okay, so number one, I just sold a company today. I'm getting out of it.
Like today?
Today.
Wow. Congrats.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to hear the congrats, but the reality is I should have sold it 5 years ago for 10 times more money. So I had an offer on the table. The company is a virtual assistant company I have in the Philippines, about 300 employees. And I had an offer 5 years ago for $10 million. And I was like, $10 million, kiss my ass. I could make this thing a $50 million company, easy. Well, I turned it down. And same amount of employees, same revenue, completely different multiple. Why? Because they're humans. Okay, so I won't tell you the name of the company because I just sold it today. We're in escrow. But that company, I just sold it for $1 million. Nothing has changed in those 5 years except for AI. Okay, so what has attacked that company? There's another company, and there's 10 of them now that come out every single week. But the company that really hurt us was a company called Prop.ai. Prop.ai is an AI cold caller. It's $1,000 a month, and it will cold call all your leads. So real estate, medical billing, I don't give a shit what it is. And it is so effing good that you're like, the Philippines are not going to have any money.
Nope. Because
the Philippines is like 30% of their GDP comes down to customer support and like cold call centers.
Yep.
So I'm staying away from anything that can be disrupted by AI. And I'm doubling down on things that are affordable housing. Because I believe, and this is a scary thing, I feel like people that have a brand, like you guys, people like me, we've put a moat around ourselves because people know who we are. People will choose to do business with us. So a lot of people, let's say I'm a lender as well. Well, all the lending companies that don't have a brand in 5 years, everybody in the audience, even though there will be less business going on, people will come to me because they know me. I've built a moat around myself. But as far as holding real estate, I've gone away from anything luxury. I'm going away from anything Airbnb. I used to have 75 Airbnbs. I have 0 now. I just got rid of my last Airbnb.
And why is that for the audience?
Because what happens when the economy shifts is people stop vacationing. And when they do vacation, they go to more economic choices like Motel 6 and other things like that. Or, Hyatt Place or whatever. Good hotel.
The margins won't be there for Airbnb anymore.
They're not there anymore. And you already see Airbnb numbers are down 30% the last 18 months. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. So what should you buy? Co-living, smart. Single family houses, we have a housing demand. In fact, tomorrow, I think Trump is going to announce a housing emergency in the country.
Wow.
It's going to be a massive thing. What's he going to do? He's going to get rid of a lot of regulation that we have as investors. What's a piece of regulation that's specific? In Arizona, in California, the last couple of years, what they've done is they made it so anybody that has a backyard can add an ADU in your backyard, right? Essentially doubling how many houses or livable units.
Density,
Yeah, there you go. Guess what they did in Phoenix just recently, 6 months ago? They made it any house that is within 2 miles of downtown of Phoenix can do the same thing that LA is doing, which is add an ADU with no zoning change.
Wow.
Okay, well, there goes regulation. So if you're one of those NIMBYs, not in my backyard, if you're a NIMBY and you're like, I don't want that happening in my backyard, well, you better get the hell out of the big metros because things are going to change massively.
And quickly.
Very quickly. Trump comes in and says, national emergency on housing It gets rid of regulation. It also, I think what's going to happen is I think he's going to start selling some of the state-owned land that we all own as Americans. And I think he's going to sell it off and say, we're going to sell this at pennies on the dollar, and we're going to go create new cities and new affordable housing plans and all sorts of crazy things. So what am I investing in? I'm investing in anything that somebody can rent a room or a house for under $1,000, because I think what's going to happen, this is scary to even say.
Yeah, but they need to know.
Yes. I think that in do you guys know the percentage of people in America that rely on government assistance right now?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Take a guess.
15%?
It's 31 or 32%.
Wow.
So every
third of America.
So every 3 people you meet in your life rely on government assistance. If they didn't have it, they couldn't survive. Rely on it. Okay. In, I think 7 years, I think it's going to be closer to 80%. What are people going to do? Like literally think about what that people are like, oh no, more jobs are going to be created. Bullshit.
Bridge that gap, by the way, for those listening saying, how, that's impossible. Bridge that gap.
Okay. So let's go on just one job that's going to be decimated. How many people drive Uber and Lyft in the United States?
Tons.
It's a little over 3 million people. Okay. Full-time. It's their full-time income is 3 million people, Uber and Lyft. Waymo and Tesla Taxi.
Yep.
And there's 3 other companies that nobody ever talks about as well, that they're all making a surge as well. Will those not take all those jobs?
Because they're autonomous. There's no driver in it.
What's crazy is people are choosing to take a Waymo over an Uber right now, even though Waymo is twice as expensive. Yeah. Why?
Because I don't have to talk to anybody.
And it's safe. Honestly, it's safer for women, in my personal opinion.
Yes, it is.
It's creepy. I want to scroll through Instagram and look at what I want to look at without you judging me. I don't want a human being around. So I
was just in an Uber when we went to the airport to come here, and the guy's like, "Here, take my business card, and here, this is my Instagram." I'm like, I don't want that experience.
Yeah, Waymo ain't going to do that. Yep. And guess what they're doing in Starbucks right now in Korea? They've already replaced 3 stores in Korea are fully autonomous Starbucks. Yep. They're proving it in Korea. Tech is just a little bit better over there. They'll start doing it here.
We have a Sweet Green right by us.
Fully autonomous.
And I hate even saying this. My salad is perfect every time.
Yeah. Yep. Have you gone to Starbucks? Okay. And people at Starbucks give me some attitude and some bullshit, which is okay. You're entitled to have a bad day. But I go through a drive-through and I go, hey, I want a tall vanilla bean frappuccino. Great. Would you like whipped cream on that? Yeah, sure. That sounds great. Cool. Next day I come back through and I'm thinking I'm doing you a favor. I'm going to go vanilla bean frappuccino with the whipped cream, so you don't have to ask me. So I say that the second day through, and they go, sir, it comes with whipped cream. It's part of the ingredients.
Attitude.
Shit. Okay. Can I talk to a robot, please?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because robots don't get frustrated.
From a former barista, I feel shame for them.
But it's a hard job.
Yes.
Because you deal with 300 different personality types on a daily basis, right? It's really, really hard. So I think those are gone. I think the one that's going to be the scariest one are people that work in any sort of trucking or transportation. There's 7.5 million people that work in that. Logistics and trucking. Those are gone. Gone. You got 7 years, okay, max. Oh, what about roofing companies? Guys, look up Rufus, RUFUS. There's already a robot replacing roofs. Last week, first fully autonomous, no doctor help, no nurse help, open heart surgery was performed last Wednesday, fully by a robot.
Yep.
Okay.
Who volunteered for that?
Greg, I don't know, but there's people. It's like people that are signed up to go to Mars already, right? So
and white collar jobs. So people think, oh, white collar jobs are safe. Not at all. Accountants gone. AI is going to be a better accountant,
right? Tax advisors,
travel agencies, tax advisors, agencies. Attorneys. You recently fired an agency not because they did a bad job, because you could save $10,000 a month for your company by using ChatGPT.
I just started doing all my emails, and it was better.
People have no idea what's coming and how fast this wave is.
Yeah, it's fast. And I think the biggest problem will be the adoption of it. So there's a lot of people, like I live in Montana half the year, and that valley that I live in, half that valley has never even heard of ChatGPT. I'm not exaggerating. Wow. So there's going to be adoption issues in certain parts of the country. But if you're in a big metro, like top 50 metro, like Chicago, LA, Phoenix, Houston, whatever, you will not recognize like the world in 3 to 5 years. So what will happen? Well, people are going to go, they're going to go to the trades. We don't need more tradesmen. That's a bullshit lie that's being told to you guys.
I'm hearing that a lot. Is that not true? There's not a shortage?
No, there's no shortage. Like, have you ever heard somebody go, no, as a roofer, I'm sorry, I can't do your job?
That's a good point.
No. Now, what will happen is what they should be saying is it's the only thing that will work for the next 7 to 10 years. But what's happening is you look at the robots that are already being done in Casa Grande right now. You guys might not know this because you aren't here full time, but Casa Grande did a full neighborhood 3D printed with concrete with plumbing and electrical also printed into the house. So it laid the electrical and the plumbing as it was printing the house. Yep, you're right. We need more electricians and more plumbers. Guys, no, we don't. And when you already have if you guys know who Boston Dynamics is?
Yeah, I do.
Holy shit.
Yep.
Like their robot can do anything already. And somebody goes, oh, nurses are going to be safe. I like nurses. They're nice. We like nurses. Boston Dynamics just came out 3 months ago with a nurse that does the job of a nurse twice as well, remembers every patient's name, does all sorts of great things, has not missed a beat. It's already being deployed in Boston. I'm sorry, y'all are going to be replaced. Yeah. And for a robot that costs 60 grand versus a nurse that costs $80,000 to $90,000 a year plus benefits, plus management, plus training, plus this, that, and the other, and you want to work overtime, a robot is a one-time investment of $60,000. Where are y'all going to go? Yep. And so the way I look at it is, oh my gosh, can I scare your audience real fast?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm so sorry, guys.
No, we're here for reality.
Okay, cool. So I had a friend named Marshall Brain. Okay, Marshall Brain is the guy who invented the TV show How Stuff Works.
Okay, yeah, okay,
you guys ever heard of this?
Yep, totally.
He sells this to Discovery Channel for $250 million a couple years back, and he's a professor. And he loves to teach, and he wrote these amazing books. Go to marshallbrain.com. Insane. He wrote a book called The Second Intelligent Species, How Human Beings Will Be as Replaceable as a Cockroach in 15 years. Okay?
Dang.
Great book. You'll cry by
uplifting title.
Chapter 1. Okay. So he writes that book. He writes another book called Manna, a couple of really great books about the future and what's going to actually happen. Well, I go to Marshall back in I think August of last year. And I go, Marshall, I want you to come and talk to my community. I need you to scare the shit out of them because they need to take more action. They need to accumulate more rental units that the government's going to pay for, right? If you're in real estate and you're focusing on anything that's the government cannot pay for, you're going to be in a world of hurt in 5-7 years. So Marshall's like, yes, let's do it. No problem. He kept kicking the can down the road, the can down the road. Well, I then lose contact with him for 2 months. I don't know what the heck is going on. And then I get a letter on my at my house. It was a suicide letter. He killed himself. Why? Because he's so hyper in tune with what's going on and he knows what's happening. He's like, I don't know why I'm even here. Now, he also lost his purpose. That was a big part. He talked about a lot. He lost his purpose once he sold that company. Human beings need a purpose.
Yep. Yes.
And so job loss is not just, there's people watching this that might go, well, it's going to be a euphoria where nobody worries about money. Okay. But what about your purpose?
Yep.
Right.
Yep. And being religious, that's a huge conversation is what happens when people don't have purpose.
Yeah. Think about what your dad put you through, right? And the work ethic that you acquired and those bits of evidence that your brain, absorbed that you can do hard things.
People think that once you're rich, that you stop working. No, every single person I know that's wildly wealthy, what I call post-economic,
wants to keep working.
They keep working because you need purpose. You need something to get up for every single day.
And why accumulate all these skills, relationships, and resources if you're not going to utilize them and go and do something more? It's not even about money. It's about the journey of self-discovery. Oh, I'm capable of that? Dang, I did that? Wow, I wonder what else I'm capable of. And that becomes this fun addiction. Or even helping people like what you guys are doing with, doing masterminds and educating people. You get a helper's high when somebody has a transformation and they go, you changed my life.
I want to stay on the subject so that we can get people prepared.
Yeah.
Tell them what UBI is.
UBI. Oh my God.
And tell them you kept mentioning government housing. If you're going to buy real estate, make sure it's something that government housing would pay for. It ties into UBI. Tie this together for them.
Okay. So fast forward in the future, what's the government going to do? Well, the government created the 9-to-5 system long time ago. They created a 9-to-5 system, not to manipulate us, but to handle us. Going, we don't know what to do with all these people. This country is growing so fast. What do we do with all these people? And the country created the 9-to-5, right? Henry Ford and all these other people go, let's create manufacturing lines. Let's give them a 9-to-5 schedule with weekends off and this, that, and the other. That was invented just in the last like 300 years, guys. It was never a thing.
Because before that, we were actually entrepreneurs to begin with. You had a farm,
right.
you were a shoe cobbler. It was
like everybody
business.
owned something.
Yep.
Like nobody really worked for anybody. You were a farmer, right? Yep. And it was like 75% of the whole world's population were farmers. Now it's less than 7% because robots do all of that. Oh my gosh, you should see the things robots are doing in farms. Anyway, so now the government has to create a new system. And that new system to adapt to what's going on is going to be like, let's ask this question before I tell you what UBI is. Do you think that we are going to decouple 31% of the American public from relying on government assistance? Is that going to be a thing? Like once they're on it, are you going to convince them to get off of it? No. You're on the teat. You're staying on the teat. Sorry for boob references.
We love boob references.
Yeah. So universal basic income is what UBI stands for. Texas has already started deploying it. Other states are starting to deploy it as well, saying we don't know how to keep people in these houses. And so what the government is doing.
It's like an allowance.
Yep. They're giving you monthly stipend. Okay. The average in Texas right now is like $1,400 a month. And it's going to get to like $3,000 a month. Where does that money come from? Well, right now they're going to continue to print it. It's tax dollars. People like me that produce tax, like in Texas, I probably spend $500,000 a year in property taxes. That goes to the local government. The local government then pays out UBI to people, a percentage. And so it will be paid for a couple of years out of state and local taxes, but it will be so significant at some point that the federal government will have to kick in and they'll turn the printing machine on at an even higher level. Now, I am optimistic. I think in 15, 20 years, I think we reach a critical mass where nobody really has to work. And I think the government or whatever it may be, I think that robots and farming and all sorts of things will basically get to a point where it's nearly free and we'll all get some sort of basic income. Stipend.
Yeah.
And less than 10% of the population will actually have to work or want to work, like all of us. But 90% of people will basically live. I'm not exaggerating when I say 90%. In 20 years, guys, 90% of people will not have a job.
And the growing pain will be this time in between.
Yes, there's going to be a 10-year dystopia. Yes. 10 years of like, holy shit, we're in the worst recession of our lives. We don't know what we're going to do. People like me, how do I survive? Well, I'll give you one example. I have a 160 unit multifamily deal in Tucson, Arizona. Not one person in that 161 units that I own has a job. They all live on pension, government pension, government assistance, Section 8, one of those three things. 100% of my tenants do not need a job to pay their rent. So I'm buying assets like that I don't have to worry about it. So look, I'm a greedy son of a bitch. When you realize that you need money to help people and you need money to expand, you will also be somewhat, I shouldn't say greedy. I know how to use resources better than the government does.
You understand the importance of accumulation.
Yes. And if I want to hire people, I need money. If I want to go do cool things like a big tour and help people out, I got to have money. I can't just do that stuff for free. And I don't want to stay in my house playing video games all day long, which I think most people are going to be doing.
I love to leave people better than we found them. So
yeah.
Teach them, if they're scared now after hearing all this, what should they be doing tomorrow so that they have a job or an investment or a cash flow opportunity that allows them to end up on the good side of this dystopia that we're going to go through, as opposed to the suffering side?
Okay, cool. So I would tell you the average income in America, the average household income in America is like $60,000 between two people. Okay, well, I can replace that with one RV park, with one mobile home park, with one apartment building. Those sound scary and big and management. And oh my gosh, how do I do that? Go watch my YouTube channel. I teach it all for free. But I could also go, all right, the average co-living property is $2,000 a month net. So that's what, $24,000 a year. Most families, if you just had 3 rentals that were co-living, you literally never have to worry about working ever again. How do I go get those co-living? A couple of good websites to go to that are free and I don't get paid for and I don't own them. A great website, creativelisting.com. You can go on creativelisting.com, take over somebody else's mortgage at like 2 or 3%, fill the other rooms with tenants from PadSplit. You put them on PadSplit. PadSplit fills the tenants. They screen the tenants. PadSplit collects the money, pays you all the money that's left over. They manage the house and you make $2,000 a month. That's the basics of it. I also have a playlist on my YouTube channel. It's like 9 hours long. You can go watch that. it can literally, like a homeless lady, Maddie, met me 90 days ago, already owns one. She chose to live in it, but her next one, she'll get probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And then the next one, another probably 3 months after that. And in less than 6 months, a homeless lady will have a portfolio that replaced the average income of a family in America. Pretty simple.
And that kind of brings us full circle to put a bow on this thing. What you did with Maddie and what you're about to do on this 109 city tour is really a demonstration to everybody right now listening that might be freaked out about what's coming, that everyone listening can do this. There's nobody that doesn't have enough time, even though I know you're working 2-3 jobs. There's nobody that doesn't have enough money because you can do it with no money down. And you've proven this not just to the people that can afford a $10,000 course. You've proven this now to the Maddies of the world.
Yeah.
And you're about to show another 100 and some examples that anybody can do this. So this doesn't have to be doom and gloom if you're willing to roll up your sleeves, watch the free YouTubes for crying out loud, put some elbow grease in and do the damn work.
Yeah, it's interesting. Last couple of things I'll say. I listened to a podcast you did recently. I was out on a run. This is probably a week ago. And it was talking about how your brother has ran 3,000 days in a row.
Yep.
That's the most insane shit I've ever
Pure
heard.
discipline.
People don't understand what it takes to run 10 days in a row, let alone 2, bro. Like, I'm painful from day 1. I'm going into day 2 running with pain. I don't even give my body any time to, he's on day 3,000.
Yep.
And he's like, well, we're on vacation. And I guess I just got to wake up at 4:45. Yeah. Everybody else on the planet is like, well, I'm on vacation. Right? It does require effort, and it requires a mindset that you're going to go get it done. So that's number 1. You are right. You might have a time issue, but you still have to make that work, right? Just like what your podcast said. It was such a great podcast. Number 2, here's why I think fear is one of the greatest things on the planet. Okay. Harvard study talked about how they were trying to figure out the best rat poison flavor on the planet.
Interesting.
They're like, how do we make this rat poison the most flavorful
delicious
thing
to rats
to make the rat run through the maze as fast as possible? So they tried 2,500 different recipes. And they ultimately found that the thing that made the rat go through the maze the fastest was a thing between syrup, honey, and some rotten cabbage. Okay, just
sounds great.
Give you the punchline, because we were like, wait, what is it?
Yeah, is it bacon?
And now it's sold in stores, right? This is how they come up with these things, right? Tomcat, I think, was the name of the company. If you go into Home Depot, you go to Tomcat, on the aisle, you'll see that came from a Harvard study, is to figure out what do they put as a scent in these baits. Okay, well, they had the whole setup, right? And they'd been spending all this time together. And one of these scientists had this idea. He goes, let's try something crazy. I got a crazy idea. I want to see if I can make these mice run even faster, these rats run even faster. And what his idea was, let's take the scent of a cat and let's pump it into the maze and let's see what happens to these fear. They pumped the scent of the cat in the middle of the maze, and it just went through the whole maze, and it hits the rat. And what did the rat do? The rat froze in place. Why? Because the fear was in front of them. The cat's that way. I'm staying here. And then the scientists go, oh, this is simple. Let's put the scent of the cat behind the rat, and let's see what happens. So the rat's standing in the maze in the starting position. The scent of the cat comes up behind the rat, and he goes, holy shit, there's a cat back there. And then all of a sudden, literally, it was they tried 2,500 scents, flavors, everything else. The fear of the cat made that rat run 3 times as fast as any combination of food ever did. So why do I say this? I say this because, guys, if you use fear, it can propel you forward. That's what I choose to do. I go, I have no choice. And why have a lot of us had transformations in our lives is because there was probably a moment in your life you're like, I have no choice. Right?
Multiple.
Okay, so that is, you got to look at yourself. If you're taking notes, I would write down, I have no choice. I have to go and do something to put a moat around me and my family. And what's happening in the future is the greatest gift on the planet. I had this theory the other day. I said, I think God invented AI and robotics because he's sick and tired of people saying, please God, please make my life better. And then those people not take any action, right? Heaven helps those people that help themselves. I think God is like, you know what? I think I'm going to put the fear behind you, and I'm going to make you so afraid of the future that you actually finally go and do the thing you pray to me about every single night. And so I hope that you guys go figure that out, because you really don't have any other choice.
That's great. That's great.
I mean, that's for sure. When people listen to you and I, that's 100% why we've done anything, is because we've lost everything.
To avoid pain.
And it's so real to both of us that we're like, oh no, that could happen again. It's so real.
That is a good point.
It motivates us.
Going back to what you said a little bit earlier, like people want to keep working because they want to have purpose. I think that's probably 90% of it, but there's that 10% of you that says, I could lose this all over again if I stop.
Yeah.
And that fear of, oh my gosh, like I was at dinner with Dean Graziosi a couple months ago, and I go, bro, like you're 55, you've hit the top of the world, you're CEO of multiple Tony Robbins companies, you're building a $30 million home in Paradise Valley, you've made it. And he goes, no, I've lost it all before. I know exactly what it feels like, and I could lose it next week. I will not stop. I will continue to build momentum, because the worst thing when you've lost it all is you've lost it all and you have no momentum on top of that.
My business partner said the same thing to me. Liquid 9 figures, afraid it could go away tomorrow.
Yeah.
If my pipeline is not always getting full somehow, I'm anxious. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I also think we're always choosing between, one form of pain or another. We were just listening to a podcast who was talking about like the rule of thirds. Like a third of the time in your life, you're going to feel great. A third of the time you're going to feel meh. And a third of the time you're going to feel terrible. And I'm like, if we all feel that way, you might as well feel that way building something. Then avoiding something, you know?
Well, take us home. Final parting words for people that just listened to part 1. Part 2, they got excited, they got inspired, they got scared. What's your message for them?
Get around people that are doing things with their life that you want to do, right? So I would join their mastermind. If you guys have been listening to them for a long time, why are you not part of their mastermind, right? By far, and look, they're not telling me to promote them. I'm promoting masterminds because I spent $400,000 last year on getting into the right rooms. You would think, right? Like I was on the phone with Gary Vee this morning. I was on the phone with Tony Robbins a week ago. I was on the phone with Lewis Howes a couple of weeks prior to that. I have some pretty cool friends that are doing cool things. I still buy myself into the right rooms. 1, I can meet some of those people in those rooms, but 2, I want to be around people that are changing their lives and doing what they say they're going to do. Masterminds are the number one way for that. So I would tell you guys, if you guys have been paying attention to them and listening to their podcasts and following their content, get in the mastermind with these guys. How did they get there again?
chrisharder.me/mastermind.
By far, not even remotely close to any second place. By far, that's the number one thing that will change your life.
Man, I appreciate that.
Of course, yeah.
We're so grateful for you. Thank you for coming on, for being awesome storyteller. You should thank that person whose mastermind you were in or whoever you worked with.
Myron Golden, his mastermind's $55,000 worth every single penny.
Absolutely.
It's so good. And I will say, we learn the most through story, because we can like get in the story. We can feel it. We've been in, if we haven't had that personally happen, we can get in the shoes because of how you told the story. So thank you so much for that, for being here with us today, for doing a 2-part show with us.
Of course.
We've been so excited to be able to sit down with you. So it means the world that you've come to spend this time with us. And you guys make sure that you go to the show notes and go and check out the tour, but pace it one more time for your tour.
CreativeNationTour.com. Nothing to sell unless you want to buy a taco at the end of the meetup.
I mean, and that's why we're all going.
That's right. Turn that down. Thanks for being who you are. Thanks for leading by example. Thanks for being a great human being. And it really, really inspires us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And you guys definitely go check out those show notes. Go click on the links below for Pace. And we will see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, guys.